Hello. So I made a Tree of Life pendant on a quartz point, and if you would like to see how I did this, stick around and I'll try my best to describe what's happening. I'm not the best videographer or editor, but here I'm taking a length of 16 gauge wire. I didn't measure. I don't really ever measure. I would rather have too much wire than not enough. Straightening it with nylon jaw pliers. Here I am going to cut about 14 pieces of 28 gauge. I typically use 26 gauge on my Tree of Lives, but apparently I can't find my other copper wire. So I get all my lengths of wire, and here I'm testing to see how thick that trunk would be if I was to put it on there. And then I fold my wire in half and wrap it around about 4 times. Typically I only need to do 3 times with 26 gauge, but I felt that the 28 gauge was a little bit more fragile, so I secured it a little bit better. But this is going to be the bottom of the roots, so I get all of these pieces on there. And then here, I'm twisting those pieces back together, almost like a bread tie. I'm going to go about 1 inch down, and I did all of them. Now I'm trying to figure out what end of the point I want to do. For some reason, I decided the rougher edge was going to be the top. Halfway through, I hated that decision, but this part made me so happy. That wire bent around that point so easy and just sat there. And I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. So here I take the 2 wires that I put together for my bail. I'm gonna bend them apart a little bit and take a 20 gauge piece of wire, wrap it around one of them to secure it, and then wrap it around both to secure the bail. Just enough so that way I have something sturdy to work with, and then I'm pinching down the pokey bit of it so that way it doesn't poke anybody when they wear it. Here I'm taking 2 of the already twisted roots together and twisting 2 of them together. Twist, 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 twist. So I got all of them twisted together, and now I've got to twist those together. Trying to adjust them together. Take the first 2 and twist them together. And then these middle ones, I separate, well, I did the other side first. And then these middle ones, I took 1/2 of one and 1/2 of the other and twisted those together, and then twisted both of those together. And let's see, now we get these 2 sides twisted together. Best we can to start forming the trunk of the tree. And I didn't have any difficulty with the stone trying to pop out. It just kind of sat there. So twist the trunk, and now I take round nose pliers and kind of wiggle the roots back and forth to give them. Now I'm twisting each branch, like 2 branches together, to make them look a little bit thicker. Do every single one of those. Now you take one of the singular strands of wire and wrap it around the bezel, I guess is what we're going to call that technically, the base wire. Sorry for going in and out of focus. Like I said, I'm not the best. But I do one side and then I do the other, so that way one side doesn't get tighter and I don't end up with a wonky bezel and a lopsided tree. So just back and forth, getting these all secure. Out of focus again. I'm great at this. So got them all done. A bunch of the wires are like super loose, and I don't like that. So we're gonna make the branches wavy, out of focus again. But all I'm doing is take the round nose pliers and twisting back and forth and back and forth, like I did with the roots. And Yeah, I need a lesson on how to do this. Here, I am tightening down each branch. Yeah. This took a lot longer than I expected it to take. This probably took me like an hour to do. But now I've got all of the branches tight. All of them wavy. And now I clipped some of the branches on the back. So I don't have a whole lot of these branches to work with. And this is not something that I typically do. On a Tree of Life, I usually clip every single branch off and tighten it down so it doesn't have any pokey bits. But this time I decided to take all of them and twist them together. Smush it down so that way it lays flat with the base wire there. I liked how that looked. Then I twist all of those together because I don't know, I had in my mind that I wanted a different textured bale. And oh, there's a pokey bit. Gotta squish it down. I wanted a different textured bale. And it about drove me insane. And I don't record me making the actual bale because a lot of it was just free flowing, just wrapping wires and stuff. Tightening down my wire to make it secure and just start pulling wires around and moving them around. And then I ended up scrapping this idea, but this particular part anyways. Your pliers are your best friends when doing this. Just looping wires around, and I ended up with this. This is the finished result.